Hey friends, welcome back to the cabin, and today I'm going to share with you how we harvest our worm castings. In one of my recent videos, I shared with you how I made my fabulous worm casting tea. It is my go-to fertilizer for our raised beds, and we are just absolutely blown away by the results from that tea. But you have to start with worm castings. And if you've been in the nurseries or the garden stores lately and seen those castings, you have seen that they are very, very expensive. You don't know how fresh they are, and that leads you to not knowing how fresh the microbes are, and a pear just fell out of the tree. But that leads you to not knowing how fresh the microbes are, or even if they're alive. So if you can start by growing just a small tote of your own worms and being able to harvest a small amount of your own castings, that is all that you need to make your tea for an average size. I would say average, that's probably relative, but for just an average size raised bed garden. So I'm going to show you how that I actually harvest those. We don't have a tumbler or anything mechanized. It's just something very simple, very easy to do. We tend to try to make do with things that we have, or try to go as frugal or as inexpensive as we can to get the same end result. Now on a large scale, this would probably be labor intensive, but if you're wanting to get started, or if you have a worm bin already, this is something that's going to be very doable for you. So I'm going to bring you over to my workstation, which is the picnic table under the trees, and I'll show you how we do this. Well, right here I've got one of my worm bins. Actually, I've got them lined up kind of around the picnic table right now, but this is the one that I'm going to start harvesting from. Now, it's been about 2 months since we've harvested worm castings, and they are very healthy and they're multiplying, so they are producing castings really well. So what I did actually was I stopped feeding about a week ago. What I was wanting them to do was to really go through there and clean out the food that was in there, so we would have the least amount, hopefully zero food in there when we get ready to harvest the worm castings. So I did that. Now a little bit earlier today, I actually took the top off of this. There was some sun shining through the trees, and what I was doing was allowing the sun to hit those castings to kind of drive those worms down deeper. But I was inside a little bit longer than I planned on getting ready to film, so I went ahead and put the top back on so it didn't dry out too quick. But that's a trick that you can do. You can either put a lamp over them or set them in the sun. You don't want to set them in the blaring sun and in the heat at this time of year, because I'm sweating. It's that time of year. So but just light that will drive them deeper, because they're very sensitive to light. So we did that. So I'll pull this lid back off in just a bit. Another thing that I'm doing in the process, I'm going to show you some of it, is I'm actually preparing some bedding for the worms to go in while I'm harvesting the castings. So as I come to worms and cocoons, I want to put them in the prepared bedding to have them a place to stay safe, where they can get down in the moist and in the dark, a place for them to stay until I get the bin reset up for them with bedding and everything that they need and some food. So that's going to be their temporary home for just a little while, but I'm going to show you some things that I do to prepare that bedding so that everything is the right pH and it's a suitable home for them. And then right here, this is my screen setup that I'm going to screen those castings through, and you can see that is exactly why I want to get as many of the worms out as I can, and the cocoons, because the cocoons will hatch. And there's a couple of things. Now you're going to get some worms down in your worm castings, some smaller ones, and you're also going to get some cocoons in there, and they will hatch most likely. So you will have baby worms in your worm castings. So what you can do is you can actually take those worm castings with those cocoons, and you can blend them into your garden soil, and they will hatch in that soil, and they will actually benefit your soil greatly, because they'll grow and they will leave their castings within the garden soil. All right, so I'm going to bring you a little bit closer, and I'm going to walk you through everything, and let's get those castings harvested. In this bin right here is the beginnings of the bedding that I'm going to be putting the worms in as we're harvesting the castings. So what I've started with is it's going to be about a 4-to-1 ratio of good aged barnyard compost, which is a mixture of horse and cow manure. And also I'm going to mix in about 2 tablespoons of crushed eggshells. And the reason that I'm going to do the crushed eggshells now is because peat tends to be a little bit acidic, and acid, if it's too acidic, your worms will try to escape from wherever they're at. Okay, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and blend in a little bit, probably about, in this small bin, maybe about a tablespoon instead of 2 tablespoons, about a tablespoon of the eggshells. And another thing that the eggshells will do also is it will provide grit for the worms, because worms have a gizzard and that's how they process everything. So they do have to have grit. So we're just going to kind of blend that in, but this is a little bit too dry. We don't want to put them in here. They have to have somewhere, I think it's going to be about 70% moisture. Let me get my rainwater. So we're going to put a little bit of water in here and let that kind of soak in while I'm getting everything else ready. Anytime you're watering your worm bins or preparing their bedding or anything, always use rainwater or distilled water or some type of purified water, not chlorinated tap water. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'm going to let that sit a little bit while I'm getting everything else ready and showing you what we've got in this worm bin. I'm going to pull this up, see if I can get a big handful, and see if I can just show you the worms. Just that little bitty handful, actually, you can see the worms in there, and it is just loaded with worms. I'm seeing cocoons all in there. See if I can get this over here where you can see it. I'm seeing cocoons and just full of baby worms and big worms. So this is going to be a lot of fun. But I do see that the worms are actually a little closer to the top. So we're just going to have to pick them out as we go along. So right there is a cocoon. It's a little kind of a tan, or a little darker than tan, little round ball, kind of glossy looking. That is a cocoon. That is a great sign that your bin is healthy. So I've put me a little bit of layer of my worm castings right here, and what I'm trying to do is to bring the worms, expose them to the light, and drive them deeper down and closer to the bottom of this little pan right here. And this is just a handful of the castings. Now the bin that these come out of is pretty much pure castings, but if you can look, there's a lot of woody, stemmy, just like pieces of chipped wood and stuff in here. And what that is from is we had bought some bagged composted manure and forest chippings, but it was mostly forest chippings and very little composted manure. So we decided to go ahead and use it as some of our worm bedding, and this is what's left over. So what we're going to do is we're going to screen that out of there, and that's going to give us a purer casting. But before we do that, I wanted to go through here and try to pick out as many of the worms, but you can see they're already going to the bottom. But I kind of wanted to get them to kind of congregate in the bottom, then I can scoop them out a little bit. And also, as we come to cocoons, I also want to save as many of the cocoons as I can to go into the new tote. I'll rebuild their habitat, and we'll start a new system in the tote that these came out of when I get through harvesting these castings. So they are kind of driving themselves to the bottom pretty good. There's not as many as I thought, because I did actually take the top off of the bin to help drive them down as well. We just want to kind of get them to kind of congregate in one area And you can see, oh, that's a piece of paper, a piece of carbon, and there was a little worm on it. But I'm just going to go through here and just pick out as many as I can. Now this is, you might think this is kind of labor intensive, but it's a beautiful afternoon, the breeze is blowing, and I'm just sitting out here on this picnic table, and it's kind of crazy, but it's really relaxing to me. So I really drove them down pretty good in the worm bin itself, so I'm not getting that many here, which is a great thing. Now this bin was really full of worms, so what I may do is take and put some of them in the raised beds and let them just work in the raised beds and help to really strengthen that soil, because I don't want to overcrowd them in their bin. Really looks good. I'm not seeing as many, so they're really driving down into the bin. Now you're going to lose some, or I will when I screen them. I'm going to lose some worms and some cocoons, but I'm going to try to get as many out as I can. So I'm going to work on this for a few minutes, and you've got the gist of what I do is I go through here and I pick out as many of the worms and cocoons as I can, and then I'll add them to the screen, and I'm going to show you how we do that. I'm going to show you how my screen system works. So I'll be back with you in just a bit, and we'll start screening these worm castings and getting some of this woody stuff out of there. So what we're going to do is we're going to dump these castings right here on this screen. And what I'll do is I will just work these castings through here, and what will happen is it will leave back the trash. Now this is why we wanted to get as many of the cocoons and the worms out, because I don't want to destroy the worms. And now we will lose some cocoons, they'll go through, and probably a few worms. Put them over there in their home, in their new home. But I like to take, and you can just rub it down in here like this. And it's going to dry them out a little bit, and it's going to get that trash out. The trash will be left behind. And the one reason why I like to wear gloves is that this will stain your hands. These gloves here, even so, I'll still get a little bit of staining from them because they'll get little tears and stuff in there. But I am seeing tons of baby worms. I'm just so proud of how healthy that bin was. And I've actually got 4, and they're about to outgrow their home, and I could add more, but what I would really like to do is to get a large steel bathtub and start raising them in that. Oh, this bin was just full of castings. I'm just so tickled. I noticed as I was feeding, they were actually pretty much eating all the food pretty quick, and when I would turn it and see how many worms were in there, it was just amazing. So I knew it was time. And probably it's been about 6 or 8 weeks since the last time that we harvested, so it's a quick turnover. Now these are really some rich castings, and they're not wanting to work down in there quite as easy as the other. And I think this is 1/4 inch screen. Any smaller and it would not be good. It'd be harder and harder to get it through. Try to get some of this woody stuff off to the side. And if we do lose some worms in here, they're just going to add to the nutrient value of the castings as they break down in the castings. So there we go. That's about it. What's left is covered in just that black sticky casting material, but this is mostly the woody chips. It's a little bit sticky, but that's pretty much it. Now what we'll do with these, because they're full of the microbiomes, even this, the woody chips are covered in some of the stickiness of the castings. These will go in our compost pile just to build the microbiome system in the compost pile. But what you'll need to do with this is you will actually need to bury it, because if it's left out to be exposed to sunlight, the microbiome will just die. So we'll dig a little hole and drop this in there, and it's just going to help that circle of life make the compost, our other compost bin, just make it healthier as well. So, all right, so let me get this screen off of here, and I'm going to show you what's in the bucket. Wow, look at that. Now there's a few eggshells in there from where I had put some eggshells in something, probably my little compost bucket that I fed them out of, and they can't really digest the eggshells that size. So those went through the screen, they didn't get eat. But now the ground eggshells, they do consume those. It actually provides grit for them to help them digest their food and make better castings. But the shells, not the ground shells, but the chips like that, they can't digest that. So, but it doesn't hurt a thing. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. And you can see how you can squeeze it together now. Now, a while ago when we had the wood chips in there, we really couldn't do that, but it's almost like a sort of a drier Play-Doh. Okay, so I'll tell you what, I'm going to meet you on my back porch, and I'm going to show you how I store my castings. So here we are on my back porch again. This little back porch gets a lot of use. It's a workhorse for sure. But if you look right here, I've got my worm castings in this 5-gallon bucket. Now these are the ones that I had harvested about 2 months ago. And right behind me, I have worm casting tea brewing, and it's been about 3 days, so that'll probably go out tonight or tomorrow. But anyway, so I do the 5-gallon bucket. That's how I store them. But before I put worm castings in there, I will take and drill holes around the top edge. Now, when you put your castings in there, you don't want to go past the ventilation holes. So why would we want ventilation with the worm castings? Well, there's a couple of reasons why. One of them is it's full of living organisms that are beneficial. That's the whole point of the worm castings. The organisms and the nutrition. So we don't want either one of those to be compromised. So we do want some ventilation in there. We don't want the air stagnant. And then the next thing is, well, you saw that the castings were very moist when they came out of the bin, and we want to preserve that moisture. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to lay a piece of damp newspaper over the top, and try not to cover your ventilation holes, but we're not going to pack it down. We're just going to kind of gently lay it on top. And what that's going to do is stop the evaporation of the moisture that's in the worm castings. So that's how I like to store them. I like to do that, and then I will put kind of loosely, not real tight, I will put a plastic lid on the plastic lid on top. And I haven't had a problem with these castings at all. And these have been here for a couple of months. And then I had some previous to that. As a matter of fact, some of them are still in there, and I've used to make my tea. And you've seen, well, can you see? Let me show you. This is part of today's harvest, and that's just part of the result of the worm castings. So, but that's how we do it here. I've got to go out there and finish. I haven't got all the castings harvested out of that bin because it was getting really, really hot. So I wanted to go ahead and take a break, and I'll get back out there as the sun goes down or gets lower this afternoon and finish that up. But I do want to remind you of this. Out of all the blessings that we have on this little homestead, one that means the most to me and I want to share with you, don't ever forget that your Heavenly Father loves you. And we'll see you on the next video. God bless.